good morning everyone. So today we are going to talk about the importance of tenses in IELTS speaking, right? Tense. Basically you have three forms, basically past, present and future, right? So why is tense recognition so important in IELTS, especially in speaking, right? Because unlike PT, in IELTS you will be giving answers on the spot, right? जब भी एग्जामिनर क्वेश्चंस पूछता है आप डायरेक्टली आंसर बोलना है, आपको सोचने का ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं मिलेगा. सो फॉर इंस्टेंस इमेजिन इफ द एग्जामिनर asks you what was your favorite subject, what was तो था, I mean in Urdu, in Telugu they say unde, right, if I'm not wrong. So you shouldn't be saying my favorite subject is, because the question is focusing on childhood, right, during your schooling, whatever. So that is the importance of tense. Imagine that if I ask you in Telugu that ekkada potunnavu, ekkada vellavu ninna, so you'll not say eltunnanu, right? I'm speaking in Telugu because you have to understand, right? And quite a lot of times when students, they are in a state of nervousness, they tend to give wrong answers, right? So you should be alert about this. Second thing, singular and plural, right? Many people have a habit of saying peoples again, right? It's people, right? దాంట్లో 10 అయినా ఉండొచ్చు, 100 అయినా ఉండొచ్చు, 1 కోటి జనాలు కూడా ఉండొచ్చు, right? 1 crore लोग भी हो सकते हैं, right? So this is the, I mean, most important point. I mean, frequently I see, yes, please come. So I mostly see that students commit errors on these things, right? Like what do you say, like tenses and singular and plural forms. So it should be noticed, right? In the similar format, whenever you face an interview, for example job interview, right, what should you be saying? How long would you like to work with us? So say at least 4 or 5 years. Don't just say 1 year, okay? They'll clearly understand your intention that you're just coming for time pass. I mean, you're just going to join the company for time pass. That is what I mean. Furthermore, spoken English and IELTS are like almost similar. I mean, if you're a good student of spoken English, you'll be able to handle IELTS very easily, right? So apart from that, there are few types. Yes, please come. There are few types of questions which are asked in your IELTS part 3, right? You have to be aware of these. Part 3 almost has 6 to 7 different types of questions. Comparative questions, first thing. Comparative का मतलब होता है कि how things have changed from past to present. So you have to go to past to talk about these, right? Second thing, advantages or effects of something, right? They'll be asking your opinion on something in part 3. What's your opinion on this? What's your opinion about this, in fact, right? Sometimes evaluating people's opinion. Sometimes, you know, they'll ask you certain problems or solutions or good or bad about something. And remember, IELTS speaking part 3 is full of cross questioning, cross examining, right? So they will interrupt you and ask why not so. You don't need to worry. They'll check your confidence, right? And always remember that you're not given answers on your opinion. If you say I feel this way, they'll not give you a lower score. How well you justify your answer, that matters. How well you justify your answer, that matters. So basically in your entire IELTS speaking, you'll be having roughly around 10 to 11 questions. Majority of the examiners, they slide from one topic to another. Sometimes they don't. But majority of them they do. I mean, they'll test you on a couple of topics in part 1. Part 2, like I said, it's a cue card round. They'll be giving you a card on which a question is printed. You'll be also provided with a piece of paper and a pencil to prepare some notes, to prepare, I mean logically to prepare your talk during that 1 minute. You'll be told to speak for 1 to 2 minutes on that. So should be very alert. Like I said, the biggest mistake students do in part 2 is that they don't recognize the tense. I mean, for instance, majority, you take any book, you take the official Cambridge guide, you take IELTS 1, 10, even until 16. Look at the speaking cue card questions. Majority of them, I'm not saying every question, majority of them will be based on past tense. So if you are a good speaker, and a good observer. I mean, you also need to observe what is present, right? So if you have a good capacity to read and understand the question, because you have to do entirely in that 1 minute itself, आपको extra time नहीं दिया जाएगा. So whenever you have a look, first thing, recognize the tense, right? Because shouldn't be converting tenses. If the examiner is asking about past, shouldn't be talking about future. Sometimes if you want, you can say, I don't have any situation like this, so I would like to talk like this. It's okay, but only when you don't have anything to speak. But do not fail to notice, don't overlook things. That is what I mean to say. So speaking part 2, why am I saying this? Because recently someone, I remember it was one of our student, if I remember his name, I think it was Aisha. Okay, Aisha and one more student, they got this question. Afzal, okay, Afzal was our student. Okay, both of them got this. The test center was at Warangal itself. The cue card question was, describe an advertisement which you don't like. Now when I tested one student in the online class, she said about an advertisement which she liked. So what is that? I mean, failing to notice the question in a state of panic. So you have to read the question carefully. And again, remember, examiner does not want facts in part 2. They don't need the ground reality. You can just prepare a self-made talk, right? आप जो भी एक fake idea से आप generate कर सकते हैं. The thing should be, it should be fluent, right? It should be coherent, right? Your pronunciation, look out for your pronunciation. That is very important. When sometimes we are influenced more by our mother tongues, especially in Telangana and Andhra, we have it. I mean, this is something not to worry about, but this is natural. Zero antam manam ippudu kuda, right? So shouldn't be saying zero. Like basic typical Indian pronunciation is good. Now if you are worried about accent, right? Most recently I have attended the TOEFL workshop, right? So Mr. Mansoor Aga, right, was the speaker there, and he trains different trainers. Okay, he trains the trainers. So even in our previous workshop, he said that, right, that you don't need to worry about the pronunciation, right? Even TOEFL experts, they say that. Even IELTS experts, they say that. Don't worry about your, not pronunciation, accent, right? I'm sorry for that. Don't worry about your accent. You don't need to imitate Americans or Australians or Canadians, right? Even Indian speakers, my students, they got 8.5 in speaking, 8 in speaking, 7.5. We didn't even expect that they'll get 7.5. But there are few reasons. Yes, pronunciation is different, accent is different, people, right? Pronunciation ela palkutaru meeru, right? Aa word ki right ga palkute salu. For example, people from Middle East, they have a different pronunciation. So you don't need to worry about that. They even say, I do this, do this, do this. So nothing to worry about the pronunciation. Okay, I mean, sorry, the accent, okay. So accent and pronunciation both are different, okay. So you need to be aware about these things. And don't think that I'll not be able to clear IELTS or a job interview, right? It's relatively easy, right? So this much should be enough for us today, right? And you can subscribe to my channel if you like this video for more informative videos. God bless you. Take care.